As we know, marketing strategy will differ for each industry. In this lesson, we will consider how to market services. Services make up the bulk of the economy in post-industrial societies, and account for most of the growth in new jobs. Unless a person is already predestined for a career in family manufacturing or agricultural business, the probability is high that they will spend their working life in service organizations. The size of service sector is increasing in almost all economies around the world. As national economies develops, the relative share of employment among the agricultural industry and the service industry change dramatically. Services marketing typically refers to the marketing of both business to consumer, B2C, and business to business, or B2B services. Business to business describes commercial transactions between businesses, such as between a manufacturer and a wholesaler, or between a wholesaler and a retailer. Common examples of service marketing are found in telecommunications, air travel, healthcare, financial services, all types of hospitality services, car rental services, and professional services. A service is the application of specialized competencies, through actions, processes, and performances, for the benefit of another entity, the consumer. Services are economic activities, rather than tangible products, offered by one party to another. Rendering a service to recipients, objects, or other assets depends on a time-sensitive performance to bring about the desired result. In exchange for money, time, and effort, service customers expect value from access to goods, labor, professional skills, facilities, networks, and systems. But they do not normally take ownership of any of the physical elements involved. Even in emerging economies, service output is growing rapidly. Service business are increasingly defined by ordering ease. Ordering ease refers to how easy it is for the customer to place an order with the company. Delivery ease. Delivery refers to how well the product or service is brought to the customer. It includes speed, accuracy, and care throughout the process. Installation refers to the work done to make a product or service operational in its planned location. Customer service training. The training the customer's employees to use the vendor's equipment properly and efficiently. And support. The service program for helping customers keep purchased products in good working order. Here are some of the common differences between services and products marketing. Firstly, intangibility. Services are intangible. Because the consumer doesn't see the cleaning process, it's more difficult for the marketer to leave an impression than it is with a handsome Persian rug. The promotion needs to associate the service with the image of an object. It may have an organic connection with the product, as a ship has to a travel agency. The second difference is inseparability. The purchase, the production and the consumption of a service generally take place at the same time. A diner is in the restaurant before she orders, when the steak is cooked, and when she digs in. The relationship between the customer and the service provider, the waiter and the diner, is very important. The customer is a factor in the nature of a service. The marketer needs to make clear what the customer can expect in the purchase-consumption process. The next difference is non-standardization. The experience a consumer has with a service varies from one person to another. The marketer needs to address this in two steps. First, to separate the elements of the service that can be standardized, and then to standardize them as much as possible. In this way, customers will be confident that their consumption experience will be what they expect. A diner may need to wait for a table, and to wait for his meal, and the wait time varies. But the steak should be the same each time. One reason for the popularity of McDonald's is that the customer knows he's getting a standard burger. A further difference is perishability. Services cannot be inventoried. Because they're perishable, it's difficult to match supply with demand. A cab is available even when there are no riders, and the restaurant pays rent, even when it's empty. Perishability increases costs, and therefore the price, of services. A marketer must pay attention to the timing of offerings. And here are some more differences between services and products marketing. Regulation. Service products tend to be more rigidly regulated than goods are. Moreover, purchasing services, such as legal representation and medical care, are particularly risky for the consumer. Many service marketers must be particularly aware of regulation, and work closely with legal staff. This factor of the marketing process translates into increased costs. Lack of ownership. Services are experiential in nature. There is often nothing physical to take away from the service. This can make it difficult for customers to compare brands, so it is important for managers to differentiate their service offering through physical evidence. For example, at a theme park, you might get a ride photo to take home. By creating enduring memories for customers, the company can try and build customer loyalty and help to overcome the lack of differentiation. And finally, word of mouth. Word of mouth is much more influential in a service purchase than it is to a goods purchase. This consumer-to-consumer promotion includes internet communications. The wise marketer will establish a web presence and encourage participation in peer-to-peer web interaction. Services marketing is a relatively new type of marketing. It gained importance as a discipline towards the end of the 20th century. Services marketing first came into force in the 1980s, when there was debate at whether the marketing of services was significantly different from that of products, and whether it should be classified as a separate discipline. Prior to this, services were considered as an aid to the production and marketing of goods, and were not deemed as having separate relevance on their own. Due to the increasing homogeneity in product offerings, the quality of services provided are emerging as a key differentiator in the mind of the consumers. In case of two fast food chains serving a similar product, it is the service quality that distinguishes the two brands from each other, rather than the product. Marketers are able to leverage their service offering to differentiate themselves from the competition and attract consumers. Given a highly competitive scenario, where multiple providers are competing for a limited pool of customers, retaining customers is even more important than attracting new ones. Since services are usually generated and consumed at the same time, they involve the customer in service delivery process, by taking into consideration his expectations and feedback. Thus, they offer a greater scope for customization according to customer requirements, which increases satisfaction, leading to higher customer retention. Relationship marketing involves marketing activities that are aimed at developing and managing trusting and long-term relationships with larger customers. In relationship marketing, customer profile, buying patterns, and history of contacts are maintained in a sales database. Typically, an account executive is assigned to one or more major customers to fulfill their needs and maintain the relationship. Here are the 5 R's of relationship marketing: deliver the right message, to the right person at the right time, in the right way, and at all times be relevant. When the physical product cannot easily be differentiated, the key to competitive success may lie in adding valued services and improving their quality. Rolls-Royce has ensured its aircraft engines are in high demand by continuously monitoring the health of its 3,000 engines for 45 airlines through satellite feeds. Under its Total Care program, airlines pay Rolls a fee for every hour an engine is in flight, and Rolls assumes the risks and costs of downtime and repairs in return. The marketing mix is a general phrase used to describe the different kinds of choices organizations have to make in the whole process of bringing a product or service to market. The 4 Ps is probably the best known way of defining the marketing mix. The traditional 4 Ps are product or service, place, price, and promotion. The first 4 elements in the services marketing mix are the same as those in the traditional marketing mix. However, given the unique nature of services, the implications of these are slightly different in the case of services. In case of services, the product is intangible, heterogeneous and perishable. Moreover, its production and consumption are inseparable. Hence, there is scope for customizing the offering to meet customer requirements. However, too much customization could compromise the standard delivery of the service and adversely affect its quality. Hence, particular care has to be taken in designing the service offering. Pricing of services is tougher than pricing of goods. While products can be priced easily, by taking into account the raw material costs, in the case of services, costs such as labor and overhead costs also need to be factored in. Thus, a restaurant not only has to charge for the cost of the food served, but also has to calculate a price for the ambience provided. The final price for the service is then arrived at by including a markup for an adequate profit margin. Since service delivery is concurrent with its production and cannot be stored or transported, The location of the service product assumes importance. Service providers have to give special thought to where the service would be provided. Thus, a fine dine restaurant is better located in a busy, upscale market as against on the outskirts of a city. Similarly, a holiday resort is better situated in the countryside, away from the rush and noise of a city. Since a service offering can be easily replicated, promotion becomes crucial in differentiating a service offering in the mind of the consumer. Thus, service providers offering identical services, such as airlines or banks and insurance companies, invest heavily in advertising their services. This is crucial in attracting customers in a segment where the services providers have nearly identical offerings. The final three elements of the services marketing mix, people, process and physical evidence, are unique to the marketing of services. People are a defining factor in a service delivery process, since a service is inseparable from the person providing it. Thus, a restaurant is known as much for its food as for the service provided by its staff. The same is true of banks and department stores. Consequently, customer service training for staff has become a top priority for many organizations today. Since services are intangible in nature, most service providers strive to incorporate certain tangible elements into their offering to enhance customer experience. Many hair salons invest in comfortable and stylish sitting areas, with magazines and plush sofas for patrons to read and relax while they wait. Similarly, many restaurants invest heavily in their interior design and decorations to offer a tangible and unique experience to their guests. For the business manager, the intangible nature of services provides a formidable sales and marketing challenge. How do you differentiate yourself quickly and easily? Services business require a different approach, with a strong focus on service quality, customer relationships, skilled people and some value-adding differentiating features. Finally, the marketing for services businesses involves the 7 Ps rather than the standard 4 Ps in the marketing mix. Want to learn more? Click on one of our websites to view our range of online business and management courses.